Salam everyone. Uh, we meet again for our Tuesday satsang. And today we are here to discuss verse 27. And let me invite our group 2 members. Anyone from group 2 who would like to help us read out?
Om Sri Sai Abhaya Pradaya Namaha. Salutations to Sri Sai who grants fearlessness. Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba is the bestower of fearlessness on all who have faith in him. When you have full faith, God will surely help you and make you fearless. People who have faith in God will never be let down. Sri Satya Sai Baba, May 1994. One of Baba's most famous words, which he has shared since his days in Shirdi, are "Why fear when I'm here?" Dr. Hislop then asks, Baba says, "Why fear when I am here?" That must have a wide and deep meaning. Will Baba speak of it? Swami says, "I am" refers to self, Atma, who is always everywhere. The Atma is like the lion without fear. Fear refers to the body, which is subject to worries, depression, trembling, and fear. Body is like a sheep, wavering this way and that way. Body is always looking for information, gathering information, questioning. Whereas Atma, like the lion, is full of courage and without fear. Atma is God. You are God. God is omnipresent. This I is you. That I is you. You are all. Conversations with Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. As long as we believe we are the body, we will be subject to fear. The greater the faith in our inherent divinity, the less fear we will have. When we realize the I, the Atma, we will be fearless. Man is the self, embodied, Atma Swarupa. That is, fearlessness embodied, Abhayas, Abhaya Swarupa. If he knows his real nature, he will give no room for weakness or cowardice. Sri Satya Sai Baba, February 17, 1964. Thus, according to Sri Satya Sai Baba, we can attain true fearlessness by realization of the self. What practical everyday steps can we take to realize the self? The way to realize the divinity that is in everyone is to cultivate love, which is the only divine trait. There are three sides to love forming a triangle. They are: 1. Love gives and never receives. 2. Love is fearless. 3. Love is changeless. The love that develops between a mother and a child or a husband and wife is subject to change as it pertains to the body. It is only illusion, Brahma. You should become Brahma, shedding Brahma. The divinity in you is changeless, blemishless, without beginning or end. Just as a dhobi removes the dirt in a cloth and restores its original whiteness by washing with soap, beating it on a stone, man should try to regain his vision of pure effulgent self, Atma, by washing his heart in the water of love with the soap of steadfast faith, Shraddha, on the stone of sacrifice, Tyaga. This is the way to realize one's inner reality, which is truth, wisdom, eternity, and divinity. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Sri Satya Sai Baba, April 8, 1993. Self-reflection questions. Number 1, what is the difference between having your fears removed by Baba and being fearless? Number 2, what do you think Baba means when he says love is fearless?
Okay,
That's all,
thank you,
brother.
Sister Thank you, Sister Shamini. Thank you so much. Okay,
Kapitan,
so
Kapitan, I
yeah.
hope because the word sister read those letters and the words, they're very
Mm.
they're very very deep. I hope we are going to go and explore those words. because the answers to many things are lying inside that letter, the conversation with Baba, and also the other statements that Swami has mentioned. So there's a need to explore, unless you're revisiting that back, unless you have your forward slides should go back to that particular those statements. If not, let's finish that.
Yeah. So I will be revisiting the letters. So let's see if it's insufficient, then we can go back again, lah, Prof, to read the letters again and have a deeper understanding. Okay. So Swami says, when you have full faith, God will surely help you and make you fearless. So people who have full faith in God will never be let down. Swami has said this. And just to add a personal touch to this, I'm very sure each and every one of us has or have been in situations where we are tested, right? And Swami tests us to see the level of faith that we have, whether we have full faith or we have partial faith, and whether you really, like Swami says, he tests us just like when we sit for examinations. The moment you pass the examination, you get through the examination, you move to the next level. So similarly, faith and this faith testing is a way how you dance with the divine in your own way, and at times the divine or Swami will test your faith in so many different ways. And today I like to share one personal experience which took place about maybe 8 to 9, about maybe 10 months, 10 to 11 months ago, before I came to Tamil. So I was in JB and I had just finished my specialization, and I was waiting for an interview. This happened somewhere, I think last year, August or yeah. So I was waiting for an interview, and this is a placement interview. Placement interview means that what they will pretty much place you wherever they want to place you in Malaysia. So they can send you to Sabah, Sarawak, to the rural part of Sarawak, different places. Of course, I've served my share of service in the Borneo. However, the fact that you're single, they will still post you there. So then I always had this fear. The fear was not of going back to Sabah to serve the people, because I enjoy going to Sabah and I enjoy serving people. I enjoy my work, and it gives me so much of pleasure working, seeing my patients. That there's not no any fear in that. But the fear I had was I was just starting the meditation program in the Sai organization, and we were just having the silent retreats, and there's so many things going on for the vision to flower, And I was just starting something here, and I wanted to carry that to different place. And if I were to be sent to a place where so further away, it'll be so difficult for me to come down to Peninsula and push this thing, and it will be a real setback for me. So I had that fear in myself, in the mind, and that fear actually started to, over a period of time, started to affect me, and then it developed into restlessness and a lot of worrying, a lot of doubts. What if they send me there? And then, so I was already planning plan D, in Malay, there's this proverb called sediakan payung sebelum hujan, right? So prepare an umbrella before it rains. So I was already planning, okay, plan A, if I go to Borneo, what am I going to do? Plan B, plan C, plan D. So I was just planning everything one by one. And then, so the time it got near the interview, and as it got closer to the interview, I was just prepared to accept anything. However, sometimes when you say you accept, for most of us, even myself, when we say we accept, acceptance can be as easy as an intellectual saying of acceptance. I accept, right? However, the acceptance has to come from the heart, and the heart has to really accept it. And at that point of time, I couldn't, the heart couldn't accept it, even though it was an intellectual acceptance. And as we move to the day of the interview, I kind of knew that the chances are that I'm going to be sent to Borneo again for the second time. And I had a chat with my other colleagues, and they had like their father's MRI scans and the father's ECG readings, and my mother had cancer, father has this, so I have to be here. They all fully prepared, to convince the examiners that you shouldn't send them because they have family members who are ill or children with autism or things, and it seemed like I'm the only one who didn't have anything much, or maybe didn't have anything to lie about or say anything. Uh, so I just went because in the morning of the interview, I just woke up and meditated as usual. I always do the Jyoti meditation because Jyoti meditation is, it's really a tool for manifestation. And so I manifested the outcome that I wanted to happen on that day and in the morning. And then I just went to the altar. And as I was praying to Swami, I very subtly said to him that I want to continue to serve you here. Your work is not over here. And if I go there, I'm afraid that, you know, um, that I will be, backtrack, and I can't do a lot of things. And just show me that you are here during this difficult time. That was my only prayer to Swami. Just show me that you are here during the difficult time. And so I just took the car. I got into the car and I started driving. While I was driving to KL for the interview, I think somewhere before Sungai Besi um, told, I received a PDF file of the uh, examiners, or those who are going to the interviewers, like, so those people who are going to the consultants that who are going to determine where am I going to be placed. And so at that time I was driving. I was so interested to see who is going to be the examiner, who is going to determine where am I going to be placed. But of course I'm driving, and also I just, tahan and just drove all the way back to Hospital Serdang. And after that, I parked the car, and as I got out of the car, the first thing I did was, so I have a small sticker of Swami sticker and the Kaka sticker. They look at Swami sticker and say, Ayo Bhagavan, I just want to, look through the PDF. And when I look through the PDF, we have one primary, the chief examiner, and then we have two other examiners. So the chief examiner will have the final say. And when I saw the list, and I'm the first person to enter the room, and the chief examiner was a Sai devotee. So that was like a real big, you know, chop for me. For Swami says, you have full faith in Swami, he will surely be there for you, and he will never let you down. Just like the saying says, people who have faith in God will never be let down. Though the mind had doubts, but I still had faith in him. Even that morning, when there's so many thoughts. Even some of my friends said, why don't your father has heart attack? Your father has so many illnesses. You bring all the angiograms, show them that this is what's happening, and then show about like family related stuff and all that to change the examiner's mind. But I felt there's no need for me to lie, or this, not about lying, but no need for me to go up to that extent to beg for a seat. And I really surrendered to Swami and allowed him to take the decision. And when the first time I looked at the PDF, and the first person was a Sai devotee, the consultant that I was seated in the room was a Sai devotee. And as I entered the room, so he was seated in front. He couldn't recognize me, of course. And then I had met him only for a brief moment. And the moment he looked at me, he said, "Wow, I can see a glow on your face. What did you do this morning?" Then I looked at him and said, um, "Actually, I meditated. I did the Jyoti meditation in the morning." And he was shocked. And then he said, "Hey, how come you are doing all of this?" Then I said, "I'm a Sai devotee. I know you're a Sai devotee." And then the entire interview just changed 360 degrees. So the moment became so precious for me until today. He looked at me and he said, "So you have served in Borneo before. I don't see a reason why you should go back to Borneo. I think there are many of the other candidates who have not been to Borneo to serve. So no worries. We'll get you where you want to be sent." And so the moral of this story here, dear brothers and sisters, is that Swami will test us, and Swami will continue testing us. And every time he tests us, it is just to see that if our faith would withstand the test. And the stronger our faith, the chances are that the stronger Swami's presence will be in our life. And with that, let's move to this video.
When I was in school, I was taught that the brain is the master.
This is from Greg Braden. Greg Braden is actually a researcher, a spiritualist, and he does a lot of intellectual, spiritual related researches. And he's one of the top spiritualists, the modern spiritualist who uses neuroscience to back up spirituality. And so if you go through his biography, he has had 2 near-death experiences. And I think we can all agree that near-death experiences changes people's life. And so let's listen to what Greg Braden has to say, and then we will slowly answer Brother Vincent's question.
When I was in school, I was taught that the brain is the master organ in the body. And the brain is certainly important, and we all acknowledge that. But what the new science is showing us is that the brain receives many of the instructions that tell it what to do, that tell it what chemistry to release into the body, what hormones to trigger within our bodies. It's true, those signals come from the brain, and the brain receives the instructions telling it what to do from our heart, the human heart. And it probably shouldn't be so surprising that the heart plays such a powerful role in our lives, because it's the first organ that develops in our bodies when our mother's womb. Before any other organ develops, the heart develops first. And one of the great mysteries in the Western medical model is, what is it that triggers that very first heartbeat? What is it that happens in one instant where there is a mass of cells and tissue that are motionless, and the next instant something happens, the spark that triggers the life that begins beating as our heartbeat? Science has yet to answer that question. They don't know for sure. This is one of the places where our ancestors had an answer that science simply cannot support at this time. What our ancestors said to us is that that first heartbeat, it's the moment that the soul comes into the body, the moment that we make the connection with something greater, something bigger than ourselves.
Okay, so I would like to invite our dear brothers and sisters to share your insights. What do you think Greg Braden is trying to say here? Your own understanding. There's no right or wrong. What do you think he's saying about the heart and the brain?
Can I try, Brother Sampitan?
Of course, Brother Vincent.
Vincent here. Okay, I think very important thing that he mentioned is that actually the heart is the command not the mind. That is what I get from it. There is a one critical area which I have a lot of doubts how to activate the kind of thing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Brother Vincent. All right. Anyone else?
Time, brother.
Sairam, Brother Manoj.
Yeah. I think Swami has always said that there is a physical heart and there is a spiritual heart. And the spiritual heart is on the other side of the body. And we were just reading that one of his summer showers, we were saying that with the Shushumna, that in our vertebrae, around, I think, from the 9th or 12th, the spark of the life remains there, which is how the life force begins there. It's not the physical heart, because if the physical heart is there, then what happens that in the operation, heart is removed from the machine, and then how the man survives? If it was the heart is dead during the operation, it means the man should die, but still the heart stops and man still survives. It means the life force which is there, what we call the spark of our soul. Our spirituality says that it is in between some vertebra, I don't remember, that spark is remaining. And that is how, even after operation, also the heart regains and finally everything starts functioning. So this is what I feel is a spiritual heart. And this spiritual heart which is there, it receives a lot of instructions, like, as you said, that intuition and all those things. This is where, and you said correctly that I still have read also and heard also that brain receives some input before acting or releasing the chemicals for happy or sad from somewhere in between the heart, and that spark of our life is the main reason, because once our life force finishes, that spark of the soul finishes, the man dies. So that which has just got into the mother's womb from somewhere, it goes out from our body after the death. So that is the case where the heart is, and that is the place from where all the instructions, all the things which comes, and mind is like a machine which keeps working on those instructions, like a genetic genome which it works like this. I feel that what Winston is asking is the same thing which Swami always used to say: there's two hearts, one is a physical heart, one is a spiritual heart. And this is what, where the life force remains, that is a spiritual heart. What I can guess.
Sairam, thank you, Brother Manoj. Thank you so much. So it's at the 10 to 12 vertebrae. That's where your life force is. And that's why it is encouraged that when you sit in meditation, you should sit with your spine erect so that the energy flow is it happens quite spontaneously. And thank you, Brother Manoj. You're extremely right. Even Ramana Maharishi has spoken about the physical heart and the spiritual heart. And which, of course, modern science is just about to understand. But what we can, science is always about what it can observe. And what it can observe is the heart, the physical heart. And so perhaps it associates the function of the spiritual heart as part of the physical heart as well. And so that is why you notice a lot of the practices that we do, especially in meditation, like kindness, compassion, gratitude, is always focused at the heart. So when the heart expands, then quite naturally you notice that your mind becomes more light, and then there can be a very heightened sense of awareness, a lot of love, a lot of kindness, and um, a lot of other positive possibilities that will start to manifest in our lives. So thank you, Brother Manoj. Anyone else has any other insights?
Saram, brother.
Yeah, Saram, Brother
Yeah.
James.
Oh, this is something I'm not very clear. Probably you all know better. There was this video talking about people who donate heart,
Mhm,
right? Let's say a person died and then the heart was given to a young child, you
mhm,
know. But the interesting thing is that child, of course, doesn't know anything. But the
mhm,
heart of the former person has somehow still with the child, And let's say the child meet the donor's family and all that, there's something connected. So this is something very strange, and this is I think quite recent discovery lah. Why even the person died, the heart given to the other person, that person are also guided by the new heart, which was donated.
mhm.
Maybe you can explain clearer about this story, Sairam.
Yeah, Saram, thank you, Brother James.
Saira,
Maybe, yeah, Saram, Sister Rajesh.
the Atma resides in the heart.
Yeah.
It gets all the work from the heart. It sends all the information, everything to the mind. So heart is very important. Without heart and the Atma, nothing will function. So that's most important. So that's the Swami that we should have unconditioned love. And everything will happen just like that. Just concentrate and meditate. Everything will just come to you. So the heart is very important. Everything resides in the heart, spiritual heart. It's pure. So heart is the first thing that we have to concentrate on heart and to keep your heart pure. For that, you have
Yeah,
to be very honest and sincere. Without that, you cannot. Saira.
Saram. Thank you so much, Sister Rajesh. You got a very important and pertinent point, which is the Atma resides in the heart. That is why Swami always says, even all his discourses, he keeps on talking about the heart. It is not God is not in the scriptures that we read. God is not in the forms that we pray. God is not in the temple that we worship or the idol that we worship. God is reflected from the inner part of your heart to the idol that we worship. His reflection is found in the Vedic studies, the mantras that you chant. His reflection is found in everyone that you share that same love and kindness to. So God is not present in the things that you do, but God is reflected on those things. It's projected to all the things that you see around. So that is why Swami always says, cultivate that feeling that God is within your heart. Go back to that source of love. There's an interview with Dalai Lama, and Dalai Lama says that so Dalai Lama is a Buddhist, and Buddhists, they don't believe in God, right? And so, if I'm not mistaken, that interview was with David Letterman. And David Letterman is a talk show host. And he says to Dalai Lama that how can you not believe in God? Because he's a staunch Christian. David Letterman is a staunch Christian. And Dalai Lama says that by God, what do you mean? Then David Letterman says, God, the feeling, the God, the Almighty, the Creator, which is in the heart. And Dalai Lama say, you mean the seed of love, the ultimate seed of love? Then David Letterman says, yeah, the seed of love. Oh, yes, that I believe. That's very strong. So, um, God is just a terminology created by humans, right, to describe something which possibly can't be described. And so it's very beautiful what the heart can do. Maybe just adding on to what Brother Manoj said about the operation where when you do a heart surgery. So when you do a heart surgery, the body does not die because you connect the body to an artificial heart. So the artificial heart actually does the work of the original heart, which is being either transplant or being operated on. So the artificial heart is similar to a dialysis machine, which takes over the function of the kidney. So the artificial heart is also something similar to that, which takes over the function of the organic heart that we have in our body. So similarly, what Brother James mentioned earlier about the memories, right? We know that muscle memory is present, and Sister Rajesh also mentioned that the Atma and all the memories present in the heart. So from a scientific point of view, we have had so many heart transplants in the world, countless heart transplants. But the documentary which Brother James mentioned is only selected people experience that. So from the scientific point of view, if we say that the memory is actually present in the physical heart itself, then the question will be, why doesn't everyone who go through a heart transplant remember the memory of the past person? So that is the argument against that theory. So my take on this is possibly something else was transferred, not necessarily the physical heart itself. Maybe some part of the consciousness or the memory of that person, or some parts of the energy, or something like that. You know, it possibly is something like that. We may never know, and I for sure cannot hypothesize on that. All right. So what we can decipher from this video here is that the heart is an intelligence by itself. It is an intelligence by itself. The mind is an intelligence by itself. And so that is why the heart can give instructions to the brain. And sometimes we as doctors, when we study anatomy, we are not taught about the functions of the heart. Heart, intelligence, it can send signals to the brain to tell this, that, instruct the brain. What we are taught of is through hormones or through certain nerve stimulation, the heart kind of connects to the brain. And that is also found in deeper studies of the heart and neurology itself. But our ancient studies point that the heart itself is a separate intelligence. And Swami says, and Sister Rajesh also mentioned earlier, that the Atma resides in the heart. And so we move to the two voices inside of us.
Sapitan, can I say something?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, just now you're saying that is also talking about the God in the heart, right?
Yeah.
I think we have to be very clear that I think Swami did mention it's not the physical heart, it's a spiritual heart, which is towards the, our heart is towards the left. The spiritual heart is towards the right. Even Ramanashi talked about it, but it's not physical. It's not a physical heart, it's a spiritual heart, they call it. In spiritually, you study that, but not much talk into detail of that. Even Swami also say it's the spiritual heart, it's not the physical heart.
Yeah.
I think you read something about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Suresh, I know you wanted to say something.
Also talk about that.
Unmuted.
Let's also talk about physical heart and the spiritual heart.
Yeah, you're right. Because the spiritual heart is there. But I don't know whether you all know that in USA, there's something called Heart Math Institute. Sabitan, do you know? Heart Math Institute. The Heart Math Institute has done one of the most amazing research and huge numbers of publications that have come out. It's one of the amazing, exciting group of scientists who work on that. And the theory of that is that they confine or they identify the intelligence to the heart. But actually, as what James said, the heart, and not only James, Manoj also said, the physical heart literally may not have the intelligence. The spiritual heart, which is on the right side, 2 centimeters above the breast, that is where the location of the Atma is. And Atma has got the entire coding and decoding and every information that is present from whatever that we have conceived for all these years and past lives, all are stored there in the software of our intelligence is in that place, you see. which is why when we have negative emotions, when we have things, it is clogging and clouding that innate pure self that we have, you see, which is why Swami says, don't do this, don't have these feelings, don't have that. It's not for any other purposes. When we keep on clogging the system, we are not able to access that huge amount of information that we can have. And that aspect of that connectivity is intuitive. See, the normal intelligence that people have, which is from the head of the books you read and all that, is instinctive intelligence, is instructive intelligence. So that one is now everybody will have. But what we really need to have is intuitive intelligence. And intuitive intelligence comes from the spiritual essence of our being, which is centered in the spiritual heart. That is why that place we should never get it contaminated. So Swami said, hey, how we should not get it contaminated? He provided 2 vaccinations. One is help ever, help all, serve all, love all, serve all. That one immediately gives you a consciousness to expand, feel, connect everywhere. Then he vaccinated another time. What is that? Help ever, hurt never. So when we have that 2 firewalls, you find that this is preserved. Your intelligence is preserved. Once that is preserved, it will continue to give us the correct navigation so that the river can reach the ocean. That is the sequence of the whole mechanism. So this is a very, very important subject that we are talking about, which Sabitan is bringing about, because it navigates exactly where things are and why we should not do what we should do. See, most important is not listening to this information is one thing, but the direct application of the information is very critical for spiritualists like us. So this is what Sabitan is now bringing for the message.
Sorry, I just want to share that. We met one person few days back. They are from Art of Living. And I believe there are few children, Bangkok, which he was saying that we can blindfold them and give them a paper, and they can color to the extent contour of the leaf and the photograph which they have been given. So it means they were saying that they are all doing with the intuitive knowledge. So I was just wondering that this intuitive knowledge also is, I mean, though brain is working, brain is like a equipment, like a machine. But I think that in those cases, the intuitive instructions are going and telling the brain that this is the blue color, this is the red color, this is the flower, like this. So I think this science is also being developed in some part of our system, where this intuitive knowledge can also be developed. So what I feel is that maybe, as you said, that love also means the clogging of, if we can remove that dirt and these intuitive knowledge can be developed also. It means it is not developing, it is just the clogging of with our emotions and clogging with our previous vasanas is being removed, and then you come in an intuitive form, and which is giving this intelligence for the child. It's a proof that they're painting these drawings just blindfolded, and just they have not seen the paper, and they're doing. So I was really astonished to hear that this is also can be possible in this age. Right.
Sarah Manoj,
Sairam.
sorry. Manoj, you brought out a very interesting subject because I'm closely linked with the Art of Living, those teachers there. They are all friends, they are all meditators. So they did told me that Art of Living, they started a department or a section where they build the intuitive side of it, intuitive side of it. Then the first thing that come to my mind was, if they do this, then you are looking for Shakti power, certain, this is due to power and Shakti and all that. Then you're going to have, if you are not careful, you can develop ego, right? That's where the seed are, when they meditate, they levitate, right? Which I also practiced long time ago, right? Okay, the first thing was the ego will come up. Then you miss the main station, you are not going for a substation, you know. I don't know whether Suresh will agree, but the first thing that come to me when they say, oh, they're going to start a department on this, you know, a section where they build their intuition and all that, you know. Suresh, what's your idea, Sarah?
No, actually, as you progress in your life spiritually, if we keep on doing it, yes, there are Siddhic powers that each one will gain, and sometimes we become attached to those special abilities, and then we get waylaid. But moment you develop, you are trying to develop a department for developing intuitive knowledge. Intuition cannot be developed with a monkey mind or with a mind that is troubled or agitated or restless, and it cannot come. There is no such, it will never appear. So the technology, if the department is focusing on intuitive, must focus on how the mind can be stilled. So there are processes to still the mind, the type of diet you take, the kind of lifestyle that you have. There must be a spiritual ambience to your individual self in order for us to become transcend the mind to reach these intuitive states. So if they are already going to deploy those processes and create the right climate for the intuitive intelligence to take place, then that's fantastic. That's fine. And I think that is what probably people will be doing, because there's no shortcut to develop this kind of a very subtle intuitive knowledge. You see, there must be certain processes. Otherwise, the siddhas, all those people sitting up there, they for years and years doing all the tapas, would have accessed very fast this knowledge. But there is a system to arrive at that. And once we arrive at that, and then once you gain certain access to this intuitive knowledge, the Atma will start taking over. Now, Atma, when it starts taking over, it navigates the individual. It starts to guide. It starts to have a very powerful influence. That's why Swami said, finally, your conscience is your guru. What does it mean? It means that you have a GPS system within you to tell you what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad. You have a system to guide you. And that is where the birth of wisdom takes place. So many people got knowledge in the mind, but very little wisdom from this system. So the whole mechanism is to go through. And I think if those people are doing this, probably they must employ all the necessary processes to be in place. I mean, that's my 2 cents worth.
Do agree with you. I remember when we do the Siddha program, the advanced meditation, before you can levitate, right, you have to go to a purification system, right? Then only it works. But it's not the main station, you know. It's still the substation. So even if they develop a department to build on intuition, to me, it's still not the main station. It's still a substation. But if Sri Ravi Shankar aim from, let's say, this intuition towards the main station, that is okay. I only feel that they only aim on this, which many of people will misdirected. You know, it will be towards the Shakti side rather than on the main part. That is the thing that I fear most. Sarah.
Which is why for us, for example, for Swami's devotees, we are blessed in the sense that when we invoke anyway, when we go into prayers and when we invoke all this, firstly itself, we are inviting Bhagavan. Bhagavan is not a guru, is God. He himself is a destination. He became the path and he also became the way. So all these things here, we have been blessed. So in that invocation itself is very clear. And then, and so for us, I think when we do like that, we will be guided towards that state, whichever state that he wants us to be guided along. So I think that is it. We are just understanding mechanisms here, dear brothers and sisters. Just for us to know certain things and for us to become aware. But as we keep on doing it, it's not just becoming aware. We begin to realize what it is and how it's supposed to be. So we need not get too bogged down by the technicalities of things. This awareness is just for us to know and to be aware, but for us to really get into the practice of it so that we can come to realize certain things. That is what our session is. Okay, so Savitan,
can I say something? Sorry. I agree with you in the sense that Swami himself is God. Let's say, even when I do the advanced training before Swami, all right, I know nothing about God, no experience at all. But before I went to Swami, I did hear the God's voice because that was part of Swami's lila to attract me to be with him, you see. So only with Swami guidance, then we experience a lot of divinity, you know. But in the Sita Advanced program, you don't have anything about God, anything about divinity, you know, because that is the missing part, you know.
Correct. That's
So,
right. That's why for us, we are blessed in the sense we don't need to, because there are many, various teachers, various ways, various methods. There are so many ways of doing certain things. So we are to be bogged down by all that. But for, luckily for some reasons, we are so blessed that we have got that system. Now we just need to continue and make sure that we don't miss any single day, any single point. Continue to deepen your awareness and experiences and become stimulated towards that. James, I'm sorry, Sabitan. So now this lion and this lamb, what is it staring at us for?
Okay, Sairam, yeah. So the invitation is to everyone. Swami just now in the passage he mentioned about the two voices in us, and this is exactly the question Brother Vincent asked earlier, right? How do you decide which is which? And so if you can see, let me guide you. So the first one you can see is very clear here. We have a lion on the left, and then you have a sheep on the right. And on top of it, you can see there's like a puzzle, right? Like a word puzzle. And I'd like to invite all the participants here. Can anyone tell me what's the word for the lion here, which would resonate with what Swami has said? And also, what is the word for the sheep here?
The line is roll.
One is love and one is fear.
One is love, one is fear. Okay. Next.
I think for
Brother
the
Manu
lion,
should say, yeah, go ahead.
sorry, I thought the lion is courage. Be courageous and fearless like the lion.
Yeah, there's only four letters here, sister. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what can be the lion?
Okay.
Roar.
And what can raw? Okay, and then the sheep.
For something, but it's
Baba.
5 letter.
Baba.
Can I try?
Yeah, of course, brother Vincent.
The sheep is love, and then the lion is fear.
Lion is fear, sheep is love. Okay. All right. So we have very wide range of answers here, but we can go along the fear, courageous, love. And so in the passage earlier, when Sister Shamini read, Swami actually gave the answer to this question, right? And so there's two parts of us, the lion and also the sheep. And the lion, so since we are still confused and we're still thinking what can the 4-letter on top here describe the lion and what can the 4-letter describe the sheep? Let me give you some clue. Okay. Oops. So the lion here represents your true self. Sister Prasanna mentioned about courageous, calm, and ever present. And the sheep here is prone to worry, doubt, and wavering. So what word can actually describe the lion inside of us? And what word can describe the sheep in us? 4 letters.
Ma and the mind.
Ma is mind and the?
And the Akma. Akma is
Which
the
is?
lion.
Okay.
And then the mind is the sheep.
Okay. So why do you think so, brother? Why do you think Atma is the lion and mind is the sheep?
Based on the clue that you have given.
Okay, so you think mind is the sheep, but the mind itself, like Professor Suresh mentioned just now, if it's still and it's clear, is it the sheep? When Swami says the mind can, if controlled properly, you can conquer the entire world with the mind, is the mind the sheep? So I think this also boils down to, what Brother James asked a few satsangs ago, like the thoughtlessness and thoughts, and why is thoughtlessness more superior? And sometimes these concepts can be very hi-fi, And if I ask all of you here seated in the satsang today, how many of you have experienced the thoughtless state? And how do you know in the first place that you're in the thoughtless state? And if at all you are in the thoughtless state, how do you know that that thoughtless state is the same thoughtless state that Swami mentions? You get what I mean? So these descriptions of things are very subjective to person by person experience. I'm not denying these descriptions, but what I'm saying is, my way of understanding it is very simple. Like when you see yourself, like Brother James mentioned earlier, Sister Rajesh mentioned earlier, Professor Suresh mentioned earlier, Brother Manus mentioned, when you put positive things inside, then the mind gives you positive things. So can the nature of the mind itself be worrying and doubtful and wavering if the right kind of thing is put inside the mind? So of course, not, because mind is just a reflection. It's like a sponge, right? Mind is just like a sponge. If you put negative things inside, it becomes negative. If you put positive things inside, it becomes positive. If you cultivate gratitude inside, you will have a lot of positive narratives. You won't have negative thoughts. You will have more positive like feelings. If you put negative thinking inside, then you will start to have negative thinking. So it's like just like a sponge. It's how you care for the mind. So the answer here is it's not mine. But you're right, Brother Vincent. The lion is Atma. What do you think? Anyone else? What do you think the sheep here represents?
Calm.
Huh?
Calm.
Calm. Okay.
I think in this case, then it's the self, our self that we identify ourselves, which is not the true.
Okay. So the correct. You're getting close. So lion is Atma, Atma. Okay, and the sheep, it starts from B. Anyone?
Body.
A for Atma, B for?
Body.
Yeah, correct. So the sheep is body. Swami mentioned just now in the paragraph that the I am, the sense of I am, whenever you sit for meditation, or even as you are going through this right now, when you say I, and you just settle in that awareness of that I, and the more you sit in that awareness, the more you realize that you are not the body. And that is why the more you identify, the more your mind identifies with the body, then you start to worry, doubt, wavering. The more you see yourself as the I am, Ramana Maharishi says, every time a thought comes in the mind, to whom does this thought arise to? Immediately the mind will point towards the source. So as you keep on going back to the source of the I am, which is your true nature, then you start to realize that the voice, which is courageous, calm, and ever present, is always in inside of you. And the voice, as Brother Vincent asked earlier, how do you decide which is the mind, which is the heart? This is the answer to the question, Brother Brother Vincent. And Swami also mentioned in the paragraphs above. We will revisit the paragraphs later. So the way how you can decide or discriminate or distinguish between these two voices are the voices or the thoughts that come are usually very courageous, calm, ever present. And if it's from the brain or from the identification with the body itself, then it becomes worry, doubt, and wavering. So we need to come out and step out from this and reflect to ourselves. So Swami mentioned in the paragraph that man is the self, embodied Atma Swarupa. That is Atma Swarupa. Man is the self, okay, Atma Swarupa. And fearlessness embodied, Abhaya Swarupa. If he knows his real nature, he will give no room for weakness or cowardice. And can anyone maybe share your thoughts on this statement? What do you think Swami mentions saying here?
Sabinan, sorry, I want to go back one step back where probably Vincent may understand. That's how I understand. Many years ago, when my children were young, they attend EHV class. So one day they told me, what's the difference between mind and the heart, So they told me a simple story. They said, the child is, let's say 10 years old, 7 p.m. at night, the mother will tell the son, you need to, tomorrow, you got school, so you have to finish your homework, or you got tests, you have to study, The son will say, yes, yes, yes. That is the heart, right? The heart will say yes, okay? And the son will say yes, okay? Then the son remember, last week I watched Superman part 1, Today is part 2, I'm going to miss it, So now he has to decide, if he follow the mind, he will watch the Superman 2, right? If he follow the heart, he will probably do his homework and prepare for tomorrow's test or anything. So I learned this from my children. That was many years ago, And till today, I still use that, to differentiate the mind and the heart. The heart is always pure, always tell you the truth. But the mind can be tricky, Oh, I got part 2, I need to watch. I don't know Vincent can understand this or not.
Sairam. Brother Vincent, would you like to get some more clarification regarding this from Brother James?
I think it's enough. Yeah, it's enough. The only thing is, back to my first question, is that how do we call upon the Atma more? Because usually the automatic switch is go to the lamb. How do we automatically switch to the lion, That is my next question. I want to know how.
Correct. So that the automatic switch is when you say I am. At least it's, and in my experience, that's the automatic switch. If through intellectually, you see the way how you come to realize these things can be, one is through intellectual understanding by reading book and all that, or the other thing is by meditating with an enlightened master or something like that. So once I had an opportunity to meditate with an enlightened master, and there was a few questions that we asked ourselves, and gradually we got to that state of the I am awareness. And once you are in that state of I am awareness, that's when he asked, I can still recall that he asked the question, does fear exist here right now? And The answer is very clear. It's no. So similarly, if you're asking for a switch, of course, Brother Suresh has mentioned just now the two injections, love all, serve all, help ever, hurt never. Those are injections where will work a lifetime. If you continue just doing that, you can automatically switch to the Atmic consciousness. But from an experiential point of view, from a meditative point of view, like Swami always mentioned, I am I. So when in meditation you say you come back to your true nature, which is silence, and when you reach that state of silence, and that is the state of fearlessness. Yeah.
So,
Yes, Sister Rajesh.
Yeah, I'm Atma Swarupa.
Yeah.
So, Sabitan, can you go back to that letter? Because I think the answer also will come from that letter. If you go back to that first letter. Okay, there's one statement that was there. It's a very powerful statement. No, it's not here. The next one, I think. Okay. No, next one. Okay, yeah. Okay, there, here it is. Okay. So this is where the whole thing comes in. The Swami said, this is from Swami's words. Yeah, okay. See, look at this. Just as adobe removes the dirt of cloth, restores on its original by washing with soap, beating it, man should try to regain his vision of the pure effulgent self, Atma, by washing the heart in the water of love with the soap of steadfast Shraddha on the stone of sacrifice. This is the formula, you see. So the two formulas that is given here is, if we want to continuously go towards Atma and realize that, it is only on the stone of sacrifice. That's why Swami said self-sacrifice is the first step towards self-realization. So sacrifice means giving away more and more of yourself to things. That's why Swami said plunge into society, plunge into different the consciousness of humanity. See, even I give you a good example. You see, you look at the processes involved. Somebody wants to realize God, and then he goes to the Himalayan mountains. No master ever whispers the mantra to the student. The student goes through really like years, sometimes tapas, do all the seva for the guru, wash the ashram, clean up the thing, do this, all the work that they do. Finally, after years of sacrifice, then they get the mantra. So this is the key. What we must now begin to realize, the moment that we are in existence, we do our work, we do this, our mind must say, well, what else can we do? How else can we expand the consciousness? How many more people should we touch? If we have that missionary zeal and continuously dedicate your life for the purposes of something better, something higher, it is tyaga, sacrificing. What can you sacrifice? Sacrifice time, sacrifice energy, sacrifice effort. When you keep on sacrificing, why should you sacrifice? Automatically it is towards the ideal. So therefore, Shraddha, keeping the ideal focus, that means keep the ideal focus and spend the whole life focusing on this. That's what Shabiri did. You see, the story of the answer to that question comes in the life of Shabiri. She devoted a whole life waiting for Sri Rama. She didn't do any ritual or anything like that. She was following Master's word, wait for Sri Rama to come, and then until they come here. So from a teenager to a young girl to an old lady, and finally very old age, every twig that snapped in the forest, she thought Rama is coming. Everywhere Rama is coming. So waited. Finally, when Rama came, she first line of questioning was, who are you? Because she has not seen Sri Rama. So yeah, no, I'm Sri Rama. So after that, after serving, washing the feet and serving, finally he liberated. He didn't run. She didn't run after everything. She stood there. What is that? Shraddha. What is that? Steadfastness. And sacrifice her entire life. Single pointed attention. So if you have that single pointed attention, we transcend physical, we transcend mental, we transcend intellectual. The mind becomes still, quiet. When in that quietness we transcend, we experience that. The Atma becomes more and more. So sometimes, sometimes it works out. You read a book, you read a lot of books, okay, those are all nice, good things. But the sacrifice part of it, if we plunge into like that, naturally we'll just grow. It is like from a caterpillar, we'll go to a butterfly. Only through the evolution of consciousness, because we have sacrificed the older habits, older virtues, older things. So even in Swami's 100th birthday, we are having that thing. We said, all of us, even the 100 bhajans, you sing 100 bhajans, okay, you sing 100 bhajans, no problem. But if you are not willing to give up something, sacrifice one negative quality that we have, then how else can we unclog our system? So this letter which Swami has given, though he said soap of Shraddha, that means soap means you need Shraddha to this, on the stone of sacrifice. This is the way to realize one's inner reality. See, these few lines that is, we should not read it as a artistic line or a very literature point of view. Actually, this is a prescription, it's a medicine. The real medicine for spirituality is these two lines. That's it. We have done. He himself, this is the way to realize our inner reality, which is truth, wisdom, everything else. Satyam, Jnanam, Anandam, all these things comes to us. So this letter is very important for us. And then you see, on the other side, he has put it nicely in a very three sides of the three sides. He has put three triangle. One is love gives and never receives. One line is one love gives and never receives. Means I must continuously give love. Don't expect anything. Just in this world, just give. How to give like that? Swami said, like Gayatri, Om Bhur Bhuva. We look at the sun, see how the sun does. Sun just gives. Where does he get his light? Nothing, from his own self. That's why the sun is like the Atma, giving. Then when you give like that, then what happens? Love is fearless. So when you're already in the giving mode, automatically the darkness of fear is replaced by fearlessness. And that love is constant, consistent, not at all changing with time, circumstance, situation. It is changeless. So these three things we just continuously do by sacrificing our time and energy with a steadfast view of our vision. That's it. We are on the path to self-realization. We should not get entangled what realization is, how it's going to be, and all that because these are all academic exercises. Sometimes when you listen to all it, just okay, different views, different, nice to read, but the real experience is just do like that. So that doing must come naturally, and giving up more time and energy for people will get our results. So this letter is very, very powerful, brother. I seriously feel that these are things that is like we should keep it like he has given it. Yes, he has come. He has given this prescription, and he has left his physical body. But this is the answer to all our problems, actually. So I just wanted to tie this one up to the. Sorry. Okay.
Madam, I think Suresh brought out a very good point about faith Shraddha Swami. But there is another word I would use, because why? When I went through the difficulties, the sufferings, there was no faith, such word as faith in my heart or in my mind, because I still not what I call no Swami teaching and all that, But instead of faith, I just know that Swami, you got to help me, and I know you got to answer. That's it, So the word that Suresh used, still fast, hold on to Swami. So mine is not like faith, it's not that Swami, I don't have the answer. I know you have the answer. And I have to pray, chant every day, do my sadhana, everything. That there's no way I can get the answer, Swami, it's from you. So I don't doubt, I don't say about faith. I just know, Swami, you have the answer. So daily I need to ask Swami for the answer only. And of course, finally after 1-2 years, then the answer came.
Nice.
There are other time also like that. Certain thing when I ask, it's not instant answer. It's like a few months, then the answer will come. But you just know that he has all the answer. So I don't know. I mean, it's similar to faith, but I don't feel that I have the faith. I just know that, Swami, I don't have the answer. You have the answer. You have to help me. You have to give. Silent.
Guys, I just also want to let you know that this coming Saturday, and then sorry, Sunday morning 8:30. This is the first time they're doing it. They're celebrating we have been doing this satsang with the American guys. This is the 6th year anniversary. We have finished 4 years of Prema Vahini, and this is the 2nd year. We have finished chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita. 2 years we finished chapter 1 and chapter 2. So we are thinking 18 years means 16 more chapter, 16 years will take. So anyway, we are doing the 6th year anniversary of so we are having it on their Saturday night. Specifically, they are doing it on Saturday. So ours will be on Sunday, 8:30 a.m. It'd be very nice for you all to join in, because we are actually summarizing certain parts of that Gita, whichever that they've learned, and the people also are having video presentations and quite a nice. They're very that group has got a very nice, good way of presenting and also summarizing and learning. So if those of you are free on Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m., I'll send the link. You're more than welcome to participate and also listen to some of the experiences of this group of people. This is ushering in the also commemorating Bhagwan's 100th birthday. They are this month, because November is the month, so they are all doing this. So those of you are free, I'll send the link. Okay, so Sabitan, anything else? You have exactly.
Yeah, I think that's about it. You already summarized. I also wanted to talk about the gifts and then the cloth and everything. So you already spoken all that across. So
Sorry, I
yeah.
didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. So it's okay now, mine. So at least we covered it. So maybe we move to the last session where Swami says, why fear when I'm here? So remember, the fearless, loving Sai is always with you. So with that, thank you so much. Jai Sai Ram.
Savitan, you didn't finish that one. Okay, I finished the other one, but there's one more slide, the second last slide you haven't finished. Billy. Second last one.
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was going to be part of a reflection, but I don't think we have time to do that right now.
Okay.
So this is a personal reflection. I wanted to do maybe a meditation, a brief meditation session for reflection. So maybe we can have these 2 questions. We can maybe think about it, and maybe next week we can share our thoughts about it. Yeah, the first question is, I'll just make it now. Think of a small recurring fear that you have. Which voice is it that it's coming from? Is it the lion or the sheep? And then how can an act of selfless love for a person, a pet, or cause help you face that fear? So these are things that you might need time to reflect, but in your own personal experience, whatever we share today can be very theoretical. Like Swami says this, Swami says that, Swami says this, Swami says. We always say that, but how many of us actually sit down and really take time to reflect? Like Swami can say 100 things, but how many of us sit down and really take it and introspect, within ourselves and ask the question, like, as when it comes to this topic here, is about the voice coming from within. So we need in this 1 week, maybe identify a recurring fear that we all have. One small fear, whichever fear it may be, right? And then identify if that fear is coming from the lion, which is calm, courageous, confident, or is coming from the sheep, which is identified to the body. And then we use what Swami, Professor Suresh said just now about the selfless love, right? How can you use selfless love to overcome that fear? Okay, and then maybe this is our homework for this week. And then next week, when you come, maybe we can share a bit more about this reflection. If you are able to find one recurring fear, some of us have fears for so many years and years of fear of a colleague, fear of a boss, fear of so many things. Then we avoid that fear. So coming back again, think of a small fear And then how can you choose love or you express selfless love, help you face that fear. Okay, and then test it out, and then maybe next week we can discuss it. So this is just basically the sharing session, and then we end today's session.
Right. Thank you. Very nice session, very beautiful session. So after this session tonight, we should always have the feeling that Bhagavan is with us, and never we should have any fear. So we should live fearlessly. Till we meet again, Sai Ram.